you have an autoimmune disease, then there's something very important you need to be aware about. And I'm going to share that in this video. Research has shown that when people have an autoimmune disease, they're much more likely to develop other autoimmune diseases. And there's a fancy word for this known as polyautoimmunity. And so if you, let's say, for example, have Hashimoto's thyroiditis for your thyroid problem, maybe have celiac disease, type 1 diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, Sjögren's syndrome, many of these autoimmune conditions, you have to be aware that you're at much higher susceptibility to developing other autoimmune problems. So perhaps your condition's been doing well for a while. Hopefully you're doing good nutritional and integrative therapies, but then you start developing other symptoms that don't seem to be related to the autoimmune condition you were first diagnosed with. We have to be very suspicious that you have polyautoimmunity. You're developing one or more autoimmune diseases, and these need to be tested and identified. However, we always want to go a step back because the research also is very clear that when you have an autoimmune disease, yes, certainly quite often you do have a genetic predisposition, a predisposition inherited, but there's also environmental triggers, things that are happening in the diet with the stress, with the digestive system, toxins that have gotten into the body, hormone imbalances. These really tend to be the root issues as to why the immune system starts to go haywire. And so if you have an autoimmune condition, then you really should be working with a holistic doctor, an integrative doctor, and looking at these root causes and getting them balanced out. Let's just take the gut, for example. We now know that the microbiome, the trillions of microbes in our gut, play a dramatic role in terms of the regulation of your immune system. So just by testing and treating gut issues, that could work wonders for your autoimmune condition. Look at all the various hormones that influence autoimmunity. In women, the estrogen, progesterone are certainly very influential. In the men and the women, the adrenal hormones like the pregnenolone, the dehydroepiandrosterone known as DHEA, also cortisol. These stress hormones help to regulate your immune system. And of course, we now know we live in a world where there's so many man-made environmental toxins, over 20,000 man-made chemicals in the environment. And so the literature just keeps showing more and more studies demonstrating that these environmental toxins greatly dysregulate your immune system. And this is why identifying those toxins, ridding them from your body through detoxification protocols, avoiding them if possible, is very, very important. So in any event, if you have an autoimmune disease, be aware of polyautoimmunity. Also, be working with a practitioner in terms of treating those root environmental triggers that I just talked about. Well, hope you liked this video and look for other videos on health and integrative medicine on my YouTube channel.